What's going on, YouTube? It is, wow, December 23rd, 2023. Merry Christmas. I want to talk about what the banks are doing. I've noticed an anomaly, and it's quite frightening. I will attach a link to the video that I'm referencing mostly in this video in the description below. Y'all like my Grinch hat? I am kind of a Grinch. This is very frightening. This story is about 3 months old, and it's not the first of its kind that I've been seeing. A lot of these videos have popped up in my feed. I'm not one to credit mainstream media, but give credit where it's due. They brought the story, so I think we all need to be aware of it. And in that video, it's pretty short. It's worth a watch. There's a tip about what to do if this happens to you. That might be, useful. I'm not a financial advisor. Make your own decisions, do your own research, just passing on a little information and things I've noticed. I've noticed that the banks increasingly are not wanting to reimburse people when fraud happens on their account. That's very scary. That's why it's more important now, probably than ever, that we be our own bank. We have assets outside of the bank, silver, gold, cash, very important. This story was up in Longview, Washington, just one state north of me, actually. And this happened to be Key Bank this time. There's a lot of issues with Chase as well. But this one happened to be Key Bank. A man, I believe he had a business account, had just under $60,000 stolen from him. He contacted the bank, did everything he was supposed to do. The bank said, hey, no problem. Your funds are secure. We'll take care of it, blah, blah, blah. And then they sent him a bunch of lip service, a letter about, well, because it was, done the way it was done, we're not liable, is what they were hinting toward. And here's what's funny. It is only when the media gets involved and creates negative attention on the institution that they seem to change their tune and seem to be willing to reimburse people's funds. Now, isn't that what FDIC is for? Isn't that, aren't we supposed to be able to, and I cringe as I say this, trust the banks to some degree? I'm betting no. Now, I've had my personal account stolen 3 times in the last year and a half. It happened 3 times 2 years in a row, so 6 times total. And my credit union was fantastic. Didn't lose a dime. They didn't give me any problems. But that's not to say that, it's going to go that way next time. And I'm a huge proponent of credit unions, excuse me, over banks. But still, and they have NCIU, I believe, as their insurance. But still, there's no guarantee. I only keep enough in the bank to cover bills and a little extra. And I mean like $200-300 extra, maybe $400. I do have some savings accounts that are high yield, but my main checking account that I rely on to pay bills doesn't have much in there. And something else I've noticed, every time I have had my bank account hacked into, it has been my checking. It's never been my savings. So they must have a way to do it with your debit card. Through your debit card, easier than your savings. I've never had it happen to savings. Doesn't mean it can't, but that's been my experience. And by the way, I dug out this hat, y'all, for this video, so I hope you appreciate it. 2011. That's back when Dad was around, and he's been dead almost a year. And I used to buy him silver every year for Christmas, and I would buy myself the same thing I bought him. That's taking me back. I've been stacking a long time. I always tell people since 2008, 2009, because I can't remember what year, but it was one of them. Been at this a long time. And, there's a couple different kinds of wealth. There's cash rich and asset rich. Why not try to be both? Honestly, I prefer assets, but we need cash, and most of us need a certain amount of banking activity to get through the day. We can't all be nickel stacking, where we don't have bank accounts. A lot of us have, some of us have businesses, which, unless it's a cash-based business, you're relying on that. A lot of us have, bills coming out that are auto pay. Some things are auto pay only, I believe. So it's very important that we're diligent and we have assets outside the bank to protect ourselves. It's very important that we, monitor our accounts on a regular basis. this is my opinion, if somebody calls and says they're from the bank, or you get a text message, don't answer it. If it's a text message, hang up the phone, call the bank directly from your phone. That way you know who you're talking to. You know, there's been some scams at Chase banks where people have disabled the card reader where you insert your card at the ATM, and people have been forced to use the tap function. And apparently, people walked away before the transactions were done. They got their money and walked away before they exited out of the ATM. Now, Mom probably told me this when I was a kid. In fact, I know she did, and so did Dad. They said never walk away from an ATM until the transaction is done, and it goes back to the default screen. I heard that once, and I remembered that. And to me, that's common sense. So in situations like that, I don't know what the resolution was, but I know that they were not reimbursing people originally for that. I kind of understand that one a little bit more. It's unfortunate that they fell victim to those scams, but come on, you know, common sense. Just like the people that there was that gas scam going on, where people would help you pump your own gas, and then act like they hung up the pump, but they didn't, and then they would fill up cars on your card after that. So we always have to remain diligent. We always have to, you know, a buddy of mine always says that the minute you get out of bed every day, someone's trying to screw you out of money. And unfortunately, you know, that's a hard attitude to have, because you don't want to be cynical. You don't want to judge everybody. You don't want to assume everyone's out to burn you, but you kind of have to. You don't want to treat them like crap. But I think it's important to really step back and be mindful, you know, and maybe not assume someone's trying to screw you out of your money, but maybe consider that the possibility is there. Again, these are just my opinions, but it's very important, you know, and it seems that the banks are less and less willing to reimburse people for fraud, and only once they get media attention, okay, you know, we'll take care of you. That's concerning, you know, and that can be a very, very big indicator potentially of, you know, their status as far as solvency goes, or insolvency. Are they insolvent? Are they becoming insolvent? Who knows? So also check out my Rumble, link in the description below. I will link the video to the main story I'm talking about here up in Long Beach, Washington. Very, very interesting. It's a short watch. It's worth it. There's some tips that the feds give in that video, the FBI, that could potentially be useful if that happens to you, so I suggest you watch it. That being said, I wanted to get one out before Christmas. This one will be dropping on later today. And I may do a live stream on Christmas. I don't know. I got to do some work around the house. But this will probably be the last video before Christmas. So I'll catch you on the live stream if it happens. Hope you all have a safe and wonderful holiday. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate. Happy holidays. And whatever you do, hit the like button. Drop a comment, hit the subscribe button, and keep stacking. Merry Christmas, y'all.